Well then, hello everybody and welcome back to TTTV F1. My name is Kieran McGinley and this is TTL season number 11, round number 6. And I'm glad you could join us tonight because this is going to be a night race tonight. And I hope you can join us. What I'm going to do this time is spectate. Because I didn't do that last round and I got shouted at for it, rightfully so. So today is the Monaco Grand Prix, famed for being twisty, tight and pretty much no room for overtaking. So we should be in for a good race, I think. Let's go through the driver's standings right now. Lambo's win last time in Spain puts him now up into touching distance of Spike once again. But the full table, Spike is in the lead on 85 points, Lambo in second on 72, Poe in third on 61, Lighty in fourth on 46, Squeezy Lemon in fifth on 41, Technic Gaming on sixth on 36 points, Maze in seventh on 25 points, Siege is in eighth on 20 points, Z3 ninth on 19 points, Steph is in 10th on 18 points. Ollie is in 11th on 17 points. Alan K 12th on 16 points. Tractor and Weed Nation tied for 13th on 10 points. Damien is in 15th on 9 points and Plaster is 16th on 6 points. In terms of the constructors, Sauber lead the way on 101 points, 10 points behind them, Toro Rosso on 91. In third place, Renault 30 points off the lead on 71. McLaren in fourth, 40 points off the lead on 61. Ferrari are in fifth on 52 points, Red Bull in sixth on 36. Haas only a point behind Red Bull in seventh on 35 points. Mercedes in eighth on 27 points. Williams are in ninth on 20 points and Force India are in 10th place, yet to score a point this season, but in fairness they've only really had a chance to actually sign a driver this season. Now I'm not sure whether that driver's turning up tonight. I believe it's Clifford. I think Clifford is the first Force India driver this season, so that's why Force India haven't scored any points. So hopefully they'll be able to get some points on the table with Clifford. We'll have to wait and see. 14 points on this in this lobby, and of course today came with a new update, 1.09. We skipped 1.08 for some reason. I think that was all the piece. Oh, you are kidding me. Right, I believe, am I on air? I hope I am. Right, hopefully that's just a network error. Got to make now another party. Okay, now I believe I'm back. Hopefully I am. And we should be back on air, hopefully. If not, then I will have to change that. Let me just check if I'm live. I believe I am. And am I speaking? I will have to change that. Yes, I am. Excellent. Well, that was very weird. I just decided, the game decided to leave the party for some reason. But there we go. That happens sometimes. Anyway, obviously, I will try to keep up to date with the chat as always, and we'll see where we go from there. 15 drivers currently in the lobby. We are expecting at least Spike. He is currently updating the game, as I said before. Should be with us any moment in the next few minutes. Of course, the time now is 19:59, so we won't have long to wait till we get into the session. Once again, TTTV. Not only the place you can watch TTL F1, you can also watch TTL F2 here, the feeder series for the leading series. That is Sundays at 8 PM, 25% races every Sunday from 8 PM. And don't forget, coming up this Saturday, make sure you tune in because what we have is something very special, a knockout cup. 6 teams split into a semi-final for each team, and the highest scorer from each semi-final from each team will make it onto the final, where the top 2 teams will battle it out. I'm looking forward to it, actually. I really am looking forward to it. It's going to be very interesting and yeah, so this is the place to watch it. 6 teams. More info on that on Saturday. Please tune in from around about 5 to 8. 5 to 8? Sorry, 25 to 8. No, wrong time again. I've lost the plot. I'm ending the stream. Good night, lads. 25 past 8. Right, here we go. We got there in the end. For the start of the live coverage. As of yet, I believe it will be 25% races, and of course we'll confirm all of the tracks that we're going to use on that night, on the night when we get there. Looks like we have 17 drivers in the lobby. Blizzard, of course, returning as a first reserve. Of course, the reigning champion, defending champion as well. We'll be hoping to well, he's taken a reserve role because I believe he's gone to a different league to start racing, not necessarily full time but more often, so it's good to see him back, and obviously we welcome him back with open arms, don't we, Blizzard? Always the first to have an interview, that is for sure. But 17 drivers for the Monaco Grand Prix should be a good one, I hope. And that's why, because yeah, I've been told to spectate again. It's because I dropped from the party, that's why. But yeah, so let's see what we can do then. As we all get into the Monaco Grand Prix. May's asking what's the pit stop record. Mays, you were there when the pit stop record was absolutely smashed by Steph at this very track, I believe. And I'm really hoping it was in Season 9, and I think it was. Yes, it was in Season 9. By Steph, who broke Alan Kay's record of 8 stops in Season 7, I believe it was. Season 7 or... yeah, I think it was about that. So, yeah, Steph's the current holder for that one at this very track. Hopefully, he won't be going for that strategy this time around. But obviously, we will just have to wait and see, won't we? The Monaco Grand Prix then is one of the toughest circuits on the calendar. First raced here in 1950, 3.3 kilometres around this track with a total race distance of around about 130 kilometres. Lap record this season was set by Max Verstappen, a 1:14.260. Of course, that's the race lap record. Should be seeing in the probably... I'd say in the 1:12s, I would say, for qualifying today. And as you can see, the drivers took a vote whether they wanted to race in the day or in the night, and a nighttime race won by 8 votes to 5. So that's exactly what we're doing. Welcome to Monaco under the lights. Bitted ones, and we'll wait for someone to come out of the plummet of the stats then, and some of the information. Technically, because that's when Monaco was established, obviously, but the first Grand Prix racing here was in 1929. A lot's happened and a lot's changed since then, including the addition of a couple of chicanes, and obviously the widening of these Formula 1 cars today makes it a lot different than the cars in 1950. Now, Monaco has been on the calendar since 1950, but not in every single year. It was in 1955, I believe. It was dropped from the calendar, but then returned in 1955, and from then it's been on every single Formula 1 calendar ever since. They call it the procession around the streets of Monaco, and well, it's hard to disagree with them. So Lambo then, we're going to jump on board with Lambo as he rounds into Casino Square. Nelson Piquet once described this track as riding a bicycle around your living room. Well, it's hard to disagree with him there. As you can see, the hairpin there used to be called the Lowe's hairpin, but of course Lowe's don't sponsor that hairpin anymore, so it's called something else now. As we head around into the tunnel, riding on board now as we head towards turn 10. Very tricky chicane, especially in this game, to get the corner right. And as we head into turns 12 and then through 13 and 14, as we head through to the swimming pool section towards this left hand at turn 18, and then into Anthony Noge. Always difficult corner to pronounce that. Anthony Noge. But now we head towards Sandevot. The right-hander chucked the car in and gaming on his outlap. He's on the hyper soft tyres, the softest tyres possible, especially around a track like this. Lighty, meanwhile, has opted for the ultra soft tyres, which is the middle ground. George Roberts, or let's have a look at Clifford's red, has gone for the Red Wall super soft tyres, the hardest tyres available at the Monaco Grand Prix. As he taps the wall, has he got a bit of damage, I wonder? Doesn't look like it. Looks like he's got away with that. As we'll have to see who is on a flying lap. Poe currently on a flying lap. Yellow flags in sector 2. And there is the hairpin. That very tight hairpin. Poe takes it nice and cautiously. Especially on these first few laps, you want to get used to the track, make sure the track is rubbered in. These first few laps, really, you're acclimatising to the track. You're not really pushing too hard. Obviously, you want to set a competitive time, but it's not the end of the world if you don't on your first lap. You still have 2 more runs afterwards, especially if you've got the car behind you. Plaster then, 114.4, as he comes across the line there. Blizzard, 109.7. Incredible lap time there. I was estimated the 112s, but no, there you have it. 109.5 then by his teammate Poe, and there you have a huge amount of the other drivers. Lighty, meanwhile, on the ultra softs, 111.2, Technique Gaming 110.2. Clifford 111.3. That's a good lap time for those super soft tyres. Alan K 114.9 on the super soft tyres. Damien 112.9 on a set of hyper softs. Let's see if anybody else is on a lap right now. Squeezy Lemon apparently hit the wall there, but I know he didn't because that was just a bit of lag there. Spike is there, heading very slowly towards Anti-Nose on the hyper soft tyres. And away he goes, barreling down towards Sandevot. And up the hill he goes. All important to get this section absolutely right. You want to be as close to the walls as possible. Maybe a little bit too close for Spike there. He knows he'll be very disappointed in that, that's for sure. Heading through Casino Square. Now we're coming towards the hairpin here. Slowest corner on the calendar, that hairpin there, as we head through the double right-hander towards the tunnel. And listen to that roar as they come through the tunnel, echo and all. Heavy braking down the hill where we saw Charles Leclerc slam into the back of Brendan Hartley in this year's race, flying through the left-handers. Got to have a real amount of guts to do that. And as Spike, probably not the cleanest lap he's ever set, but he is really pushing as hard as he can through Anti-Nogues and towards the start-finish straight in arguably the most pointless DRS zone on the calendar. It's a 111.0 from Spike, and it puts him in P6. He won't be happy with that, but it wasn't the cleanest lap he's ever set. Ollie currently on his outlap there, I believe. Well, he's 6 minutes 24, and apparently the game's saying that he's on an outlap, so I'm going to assume he is. So, have we got anybody else out on track at the moment? Not at the moment, but as soon as we get someone out there, we will come back to it. Of course we will. So, Poe currently leading the way, 109.5. Blizzard in second, 109.7. Lambo in third, 109.8. Bit of a gap to the next car in Technic Gaming, 110.2. But very early days in qualifying, 11 minutes to go. Still plenty of time in this session to set a couple of good laps. Trying to keep an eye on the chat, but obviously I am also trying to keep the bandwidth down as much as I can. So you'll have to forgive me if I can't actually read any of the comments. Obviously the stream has to come first. Stream health has to come first anyway. But I will try and keep up with it as much as I can. So Ollie starts his flying lap then. Z3 also on a flying lap on the hyper soft tyres. As he taps the wall there. Straight over the drain pipe there. Or the drain cover, sorry. A little lump in the track down the hill. But then he goes through the hairpin there. And again, he's got hit the wall again. And that time, that's got front wing damage on the right-hand side. So he's going to have to come back to the pits. He could set a banker lap here. But then again, is there a point if you know you're going to be slower than what you need to be? Ali making his way through the tunnel now. Through the chicane he goes. And it seems like he's backed off, and he has. So Ollie, once again, is going to have to go again. Technique is out there. Currently 4th place on a 110.2. And he is, I believe, on a flying lap. But again, he's tapped the wall. So difficult to get this track absolutely nailed. It's not one of my favourite tracks. In fact, it's one of my hated tracks. But I suppose as a spectator sport, it probably would be. But driving this track, especially on a controller, you're at a huge disadvantage. As Technique here, pushing as much as he can. Blizzard, meanwhile, 109.1 goes top of the table. Lambo currently out there as well, as he is currently just stuck in 2nd gear. That looks like making his way back to the pits, is he? Well, he was just in 2nd gear there, so maybe he backed out of his lap. So away he goes for his flying lap. Yeah, that's right then. So that was just an out lap. Steph then coming through into the final corners. Technique has retired from the session, and you can see here, this is what qualifying means around Monaco. There's a queue now behind, I believe that is Plaster. Little bit of a train forming here through the tunnel, and that's caused one of the Renaults there to back out of their lap. But Plaster is in no right to give away the position. He's on a flying lap. He can do what he likes. And he's flying through. Little bit of a mistake there. As the Renault goes diving through. Squeezy's having none of it. Sorry, the McLaren Renault. Diving through. He's not wasting any time. And coming around the final corner through Anthony Nogues. And can he set a better lap time than a 110.4? Yes, he can. It's a 110.0. And it puts him up into P4. Let's have a look at other drivers out there. Spike currently trying to set a lap time. He's currently on a set of ultra soft tyres, so looking to try the alternate strategy. You're looking at a one stop here at Monaco, but of course the hypersofts are only good for the qualifying section. When you get into the race, the hypersofts will degrade very quickly. Maybe not as quickly as we'd think in the nighttime setting, so Ultrasoft may be the better shout, but I think Spike here, going onto a set of Ultrasoft tyres, is going to try to at least pull off the alternate strategy. Of course, overtaking here is very difficult, so you've got to make the least amount of stops possible. Your track position is more important, so the undercut can be very crucial here. The undercut really works well. Spike locking up, heading into the hairpin. Doesn't look like it's cost him too much time though. He's now heading towards the tunnel. Through he goes, that green helmet. Flying through the right-hander of the tunnel. Eyes have to adjust once again as we head through that chicane. In the 60s, that just used to be a bit of straight track there. But to slow the cars down, they added that chicane. But Spike flying through this section, taps the wall, gives it a little love tap. Won't have lost too much time there. As we head around the final corner. A little bit of Red Bull there on the track. As Spike heads towards the line. What time could he set? It's a 110.5. Improves by half a second, but puts him in P8. Z3 meanwhile has retired. And we'll never know what happened to him then. Mays meanwhile is heading around the final corner. Again, that little bit of debris there. Got to watch out for that. You can get punctures in this game like that. Mays goes P10 with a 112.0.
That's a car leaving the pits. And that looks like it's the other Renault. Or the other Renault. Oh man, I am losing it. Is that Steph or is that Damien? It is Steph. Making his way out onto the track then on the Hypersoft tyres. Currently in P11. And with 5 minutes to go, Blizzard is on provisional pole. Poe is in second, Lambo third, Squeezy fourth, Clifford in fifth, Technique sixth, Lighty in seventh, Spike in eighth, Ollie in ninth, Maze in 10th, Steph in 11th, Damien 12th, Alan K 13th, Plaster in 14th, Z3 retired without setting a time. George Roberts has yet to leave the pit lane. So as we see all the cars leaving the pit lane now, and this is probably a time when you could try to set multiple laps. Lots of cars coming in, lots of cars coming out. Both Mercedes are out on track. Damien, the other Mercedes, making his way onto an outlap. Lighty in the Ferrari, making his way out onto track. And we'll have to see who can grab pole position in these last 5 minutes. Z3 saying, I hate this track. I'm with you, Z3. I hate this track too, especially driving around it. However, it's not over yet, Z3. You still have the race to go. Can anyone beat Blizzard's 109.1? When you think of a track like this, so difficult to get it absolutely spot on. It's always going to be tricky to see if anybody can actually beat it, especially at a quick time like that. Top 5, interestingly, still all in the pits. I say that. Clifford is now out on track in the Force India. So Force India here with Clifford, hoping to actually get points on the table. That's what they need. And they're hoping they could do it with Clifford. Mays, meanwhile, still out there on track. And is he coming back to the pits then to get rid of those tyres and put on a new set? Yeah. Is he? Yes, he is. Late decision, but he's in. Steph then on a flying lap. Can he better? 11th place. Can he get himself into the top 10? Hits the wall though. That's not going to help. And you can see the front wing's gone. And Steph will have to abandon that lap surely. He might not have enough time to get back to the pits. He's carrying on though. Rounding the final corner. Towards the start-finish line we go. And what can Steph do? Does he improve? He does. By 4/100ths of a second, but he stays in P11. Lighty also on a flying lap. We've also got Damien who came back to the pits, did not complete his lap. And Lighty really pushing the track as hard as it can. And I think his lap time got invalidated there. Pushed a little bit too hard. But you can't really blame him too much for that. He's going to go again though. And into Sandoval we go. Mays has retired from the session in 9th place. And that's McLaren up ahead of Squeezy. Here's Ollie meanwhile. Heading out there. Damien has retired from the session. And here we go then with 1:30 to go. All the drivers are now starting to head out. Clifford in P5, 110.2 right now. Can he get into the 109s with this lap? Let's have a look through Sector 2. He's 7 tenths up, and almost 8 tenths up. Oh, he's made a mistake. Oh, Clifford's made that mistake. And I'm not actually sure. No, I think this is just the internet, is it? Yeah, it just is. Internet creating fake drama then. Clifford then heading towards the line. What can he do? It's a 109.2 and it puts him in P2. Great lap from Clifford. And he's got a chance to do one more lap. Can he pull it off? Blizzard then setting himself up to try another lap. Clifford, that's it. He's done for the day. So P2 is at least the best he's going to get. One less person for Blizzard to worry about. But he's got to worry about his teammate for today, Poe, who looks in sparkling form today. And I wonder if he could be the man to challenge Blizzard for the race win. Obviously it's going to be tough. But Lambo here rounding the final few corners. And Let's see if we can have some drama at Raskas in qualifying. Where have I heard that one before? But here we go then. Up the hill we go. With Lambo through Massenet. And then here we go through Casino Square. Down the hill we go. And we're heading towards the hairpin. Checkered flag goes out. Ollie has retired. Poe is out there. Blizzard, meanwhile, flying through the swimming pool section. And he seemed to nail that. Seemed to anyway. Here we go through Raskas. Might have overcooked it slightly, but he's got to push on now. Through Anthony Nogues. As he heads towards the line. Can he better that lap time? Yes, he can. 108.6. What a lap from Blizzard. Here comes Poe towards the line. Can he improve? Yes, he can. 108.9. Renault 1-2 at the moment. Here comes Lambo then. Now coming towards Raskas. And then towards Anthony Nogues. Can he get onto the front row? It's a 109.6. He improves, but he cannot improve his position. So, Alan Kay is the last car to set a lap time. And there he goes. P13 for Alan Kay. Well, it's a Renault 1-2, and it will be Blizzard to take pole position. So there's all the XP I get for watching. 500 of them. Still puts me at rank 1 though. Always good to know. But here we go then, qualifying results. Blizzard in pole position, 108.6. What a lap from Blizzard. Poe in second, Clifford in third, Lambo fourth, Spike in fifth, Squeezy in sixth, Technic in seventh, Lighty in eighth, Maze in ninth, Ollie 10th, Steph in 11th, Damien 12th, Alan K 13th, Plaster 14th, Z3 in 15th, George Roberts rounding off the grid in 16th place. So then, for the Monaco Grand Prix, the top 10, it looks like everyone qualified on a set of hyper soft tyres, which is exactly the case. So they'll have to start on that qualifying tyre, of course. None of them going for the alternate strategy, and, well, on a track like this, why would you? It's such a risk when there's so little overtaking to happen. So, hopefully no lobby drama like there was on Tuesday. Hopefully we'll be able to go straight into the race. I'm really hoping so anyway. Well, Monaco then is an interesting place to start. And going into the first corner, Sandervoort. Watch out for any drama there. We've seen it in the past, we'll definitely see it now. And when we're coming up to the hairpin, especially in the first lap, it's single file, unless you think you're Adrian Sutil and you think you can dive up the inside. Well, you can have a go, but, you know, steering lock on the controller isn't as good as the steering lock on the wheel. Through the tunnel and down towards the chicane, turns 10 and 11 is a good overtaking opportunity, but it puts you on the outside for turn 11 and very close to the wall. That's probably one of your best overtaking opportunities. And the most pointless DRS zone is the one we're in right now. Most pointless DRS zone in Formula 1 today. And, well, there's not a lot you can say about it as this car's spinning on the formation lap. Squeezy there. Well, the less said about that, the better, I think, about Squeezy. Anyway, we have Blizzard on pole position. And let's have a look at the tyres here. So, obviously, the top 10 get onto a set of Hypersoft tyres. Interestingly, everyone outside of the top 10 have chosen exactly the same tyre. Everyone is starting on a set of super soft tyres. So 39 laps around this Monaco Grand Prix. And, well, it's they call it the procession. In 2003, there was not a single overtake on track. And it's still on the calendar. No overtakes can happen here, and it's still regarded as one of the best tracks on the calendar. But there's 5 overtakes at Melbourne, and it's considered one of the worst. You work that one out in your head, and get back to me on it. We are here, though, for round 6 of TTL in season number 11. With Spike having that lead at the top of the table. He's starting in P5. And Blizzard, who is a reserve for this season, so unlikely to win this championship, could play a vital role. Poe especially will want a good start, but as we're heading back to the grid now, Clifford in third place. I believe this is his debut, so what a debut this could be from the Force India driver, and what a chance to score some good points from the Force India boys as well. TTL F1 is sponsored by weakwifigaming.com. Visit them if you want to upgrade your Wi-Fi for the game. Also brought to you by fatalgrips.com. Use TTL F1 at checkout for 10% discount off your order. For now though, this is round 6. Weak Wi-Fi Solutions brings you this race. 5 red lights here at the Monaco Grand Prix. Round 6 is underway, and what are the starts like? That's a brilliant start from Blizzard as we head towards turn 1. That's Clifford down the inside into the first corner. Now has everybody kept it clean behind them? Clifford is now side by side with the Renault of Poe as they head up the hill. But there's Lambo. He's got up the inside. Great move from Lambo. He gets himself up into P3 on the start there. Lots of position changes all behind. I said there was a Grand Prix of no overtaking. Look how many arrows there are on the screen. Incredible stuff as we head down towards the hairpin for the very first time. That's a car park here, and as Mays had to... oh, that's a Renault. Oh, why do I keep calling it a Renault? A Mercedes taking to the inside of the chicane there. That was Steph, who picks up a 3-second time penalty for doing so. Meanwhile, though, Lambo has got himself up into P3. Good start from him. Spike, though, losing a position on the grid. He's down to P6. But a good start from Poe. That's exactly what he wanted. Right behind Blizzard, though. Could Blizzard tear away from the pack? A track that really punishes mistakes here. You cannot make a single one. Oh, that is your strategy all gone. Technique in 7th place. Let's have a look at the biggest winners and losers then. We have something's happened behind, has it? Yellow flag behind. Not quite sure who it was. I heard a crunch, but not quite sure who it was. We have Clifford. Clifford has retired from the session. The Force India driver is out. That's what that crunching sound would have been. And on his debut, he's out of the Monaco Grand Prix. Such a shame for Clifford. And a huge shame for Force India. Well, what might have been. So meanwhile then, Blizzard leads the way. Meanwhile, Spike has found a way past Squeezy somehow. And interesting camera angles there. Yellow flags in Sector 1. I'm not quite sure who it could have been, but... we'll have to move on swiftly then. As you can see, there have been no losers in the build-up to this race at the start. There are winners, though. Of course there are. Ollie up 2 positions from his starting place, and Plasters also up 2 places, up into P12. So, battle of the pit stops here. Who dares wins? That's the motto of this track, isn't it? But Blizzard... leading the way at the moment. Poe in second. Technique has made a move on Light E. Beg your pardon, that's Squeezy coming into the pits. Now, is that a front wing? This could be a front wing change. Yes, it is for Squeezy. So has he hit the wall somewhere? A track that is so unforgiving when it comes to these sorts of decisions. On go a set of Ultra Softs for Squeezy there. And that's a little bit of lag getting in the way there. But he rejoins in P15 at the back of the grid. So, Blizzard leading the way still from Poe and Lambo. Poe there, got a great run coming into the tunnel there. And looked to have a good move. In fact, Poe has actually made his way past. I beg your pardon. I'm having a nightmare today, but Poe has made his way into the lead. Blizzard there. Has he let him through, or will he chase for that race lead? Well, out. Technique's got the nose in there, and there you can see, yes, Spike has front wing damage. He can't turn that car as easily as he can, and Technique is up into P4. So ambitious driving from Technique. It's work though, and he is up into P4. Spike here could be in real trouble. The championship leader has got to well, he's got to make a big decision here. Does he stay out on these tyres and hope he can hold off Light E, for example, as we head through the tunnel? The longer he stays out, the more time he's going to lose. But on a track where there's no overtaking, really. As I say that, Light E's gone straight down the inside of Blizzard. He cut the chicane, but well, I don't think the game will ask him to give it back. So that's that. Lighty moves up into P5. I think in real F1 you would see that they'd have to give that place back, but if the game doesn't tell you to give the place back, then there's no need to. Lambo, meanwhile, on Blizzard's tail, and Poe is flying away. Now I wonder if Blizzard is looking to try and hold up a little bit. Spike is in though. Now will this be a change onto some super soft tyres to get into the end of the race? I think that's exactly what's going to happen. Change your front wing. Well, they had super soft tyres ready. Now they put on ultra soft. Now they flick onto super softs. So that's exactly what's happening. Looks like then Spike is going to go to the end of the race on those tyres. So here we rejoin in P14, I believe. Yep, he'll rejoin in front of Ollie. But Ollie will have a much better exit. He might be able to close up a little bit as we head up the hill. Meanwhile, Squeezy is trying to make his way through the field once again. Obviously, he's stopped already, so he's got to try and make his way through the field at one of the toughest tracks to overtake at. Squeezy then only slipstream as we head through the tunnel and towards the chicane at the end of this straight. And Squeezy then moving to the outside. Look how... Oh, that's very defensive from Z3. Went all the way down the inside. And, of course, at that point, you haven't got any steering angle to actually get the car around. So he lost a huge amount of time there. Squeezy's up into P10. His next target is Plaster now. And Plaster's on some super soft tyres. And here comes Squeezy down up the inside. Oh, Plaster into the wall. And, well, that was very ambitious from Squeezy. Maybe a little too ambitious. Has Plaster got damage, I wonder? If I know Plaster, he's going to be furious with that move. And now he's opened himself up to Alan Kay. Is he going to try and move down the inside? No, he isn't. And it looks to me like Plaster should be okay. It doesn't look like there's too much damage, actually, to that car. So he should be able to continue on. Lambo, meanwhile, still on the back of Blizzard. And as you can see, Blizzard is making that Renault as wide as possible. And you can see there, the line he's taking is a really good one. It means Lambo can't actually find a way through. Very, very tough to overtake here. Lap 6 of this Grand Prix, which will quickly flick over to lap 7 right about now. There you go. And Lambo here might have a chance, an opportunity, if he keeps grinding away at Blizzard to try and force him into a mistake. Meanwhile, Squeezy is up into P8, taps the wall there. And Squeezy's aggressive driving is getting him up the field. George Roberts is retired from the race, but of course we can't ride on board with retired cars anymore, which is interesting decision from Codemasters. But anyway, Mays into the pits he comes. Looks like for his one and only stop, he goes onto a set of ultra soft tyres, and away he goes. Ultra soft tyres to get him to the end of the race. That's an interesting call, but it might be one that works. There goes Spike though. In fact, there goes Alan Kay. There's Spike there. And around we go. And Spike just about rejoins ahead. And he had to have a front wing change as well. So Spike is making some good round here. He's got his teammate ahead of him, Alan Kay, who is, well, I'm pretty sure he won't be too eager to let him pass, but he knows there won't be any point in battling. And there he is. He lets him through there. And May's there, looking for an opportunity to try and find a way through, but no dice for Mays. Tried to be opportunistic, but just didn't work. The door closed shut. Lambo into the pits then. Is he going to try and make this undercut work then? He's seeing no other way to get past Blizzard. Now Blizzard might have to have the outlap of his life here. Let's see if that gap closes up to Poe. Ah, that's why. Lambo in for a front wing change. So on go a set of ultra soft tyres. And away Lambo goes. So that is why he had to pit early then. So where will he rejoin? Whereabouts is everybody? There's a big battle here. Spike is now up the grid into P10. And Plaster here is past, or is defending from Alan Kay as much as he can. Alan Kay is under huge threat from Mays here. Damien's into the pits. Ollie's caught up to the back of this lot. And this could be a tasty battle going on here. Mays is desperately trying to find a way past, going up the hill. No dice though. Is he going to try around the outside of Massenet? Yes, he is. And I think Alan Kay, in the end, didn't make that too difficult for Mays there. But around the outside of Massenet and before Casino Square, Mays is through with the move. Squeezy Lemon, though, down the inside of Steph. Surely that's not going to work. It's going to go round the outside. And Steph there runs off the track. And Squeezy Lemon has picked himself up a penalty there for multiple warnings. Steph led him through there. And that's the end of that. Steph probably had an illegal overtake banner that he had to let him back through. Blizzard, meanwhile, is into the pits. He's onto a set of super soft tyres. So away Blizzard will go. And Blizzard has rejoined behind Technique Gamers. So Technique didn't have to make a front wing change. Blizzard did. And he rejoins in front of Lambo. How frustrating is that for Lambo? All that effort, all that work. And he's rejoined exactly where he was beforehand. Must be so frustrating when that happens. Mays, meanwhile, still on the tail of Plaster. As he makes his way up the hill through Massenet once again. Can he try and make this move stick? I say it's like one of the toughest places to overtake, and I think we've seen more overtakes here than we have all season. So, what do I know? What does the commentator know? Absolutely nothing. Plaster running a little bit wide, setting himself up for the tunnel maybe. As we fly through though, Mace is down the inside. Plaster left him the room, still left him the room. And there you go, Maze, I don't think caused too much grief there as Light E comes into the pits. A change of front wing, we're going to be seeing quite a few of those, and we've seen quite a few already. But away he goes. I'm guessing this is lag. Yep, there you go. So away he goes then, we'll rejoin the track, and we'll have to see where he rejoins. Poe, meanwhile, has made his one and only stop and has rejoined 5 seconds ahead of Technique. There is Technique. So I wonder what's going through Technique's mind now. Does he push, or does he try and save these tyres for a later time in the race? Lambo, meanwhile, is right behind Blizzard, right where he left off his previous battle. And, well, if he couldn't pass Blizzard beforehand, he might not have too much of a chance. But that is Blizzard locking up heavily there, coming into the chicane. And that might give Lambo a little bit of hope here. Surely not up the inside. No, he gives Blizzard a little bit of a warning that he's ready to take advantage of any mistake Blizzard makes here. And Blizzard taps the wall up ahead. Here we come into Raskas. And as you can see, Blizzard... Oh, I thought he wanted to come into the pits there. Lambo was straight down the inside. Blizzard, I think, has damage, because Lambo's all over the back of Blizzard here as we head towards turn 1 into Sandevot and up the hill. A good opportunity here for Lambo to try and make that move on Blizzard. So close to the wall there as we head through Massenet and then into Casino Square. These two are battling away and Blizzard's doing everything he can to hold on to this position. So you can see Lambo has the race pace, but Blizzard maybe set up that car for qualifying and hoping that no one will overtake him. Meanwhile, Ollie has found a way past Plaster into turn 1. And Ollie then up into P11. Back on board with these two. And Lambo has just fallen away slightly from Blizzard as we head through this chicane. And then we're going to go through the fast left-hander. You chuck the car in and hope you don't hit the wall on the other side. As Lambo did slightly tap the wall. The swimming pool section is here. And we now head towards the Raskas. As that is Lambo trying to go round the outside, and there's just no room for him. Credit for the attempt there, and that is Steph. Steph, oh, that's Spike out of the race. And Steph, the game has awarded him a 5-second stop-go penalty for severe collision, apparently. Well, Steph there, no front wing, has to limp all the way back to the pits. Virtual safety car is deployed. A virtual safety car, not a physical one. That's an odd move from the virtual Charlie Whiting, but VSC is deployed, and you can see there, Mays, Steph, Ollie into the pits. They're taking advantage of this. It's not exactly a free pit stop, but everyone is on that same piece of Scalextric's track that David Croft likes talking about so much. And this is the interesting thing. You can try and take advantage of this virtual safety car. Here we go then. Is Lambo gambling? Yes, he is. Oh, he's made contact with Blizzard. They've made contact in the tunnel. Oh, shades of Montoya Schumacher there. Lambo there tapped the rear wheel of Blizzard, it looked like. And the two of them made contact. Blizzard all the way around. And that is Lambo trying to take advantage of the VSC. Just mistiming and misjudging. But I have to see how much damage Blizzard has. And Lambo has to come into the pits then. So this might be damage. Needed to be repaired then. Yellow flags in Sector 2. That's Blaster out of the race. And let's have a look. Yeah, he's hit the wall, that looks like. On the left-hand side. Yeah, that's definitely what it looks like. Nothing from the stewards. Nothing from Virtual Charlie Whiting either. So we have yet to see a safety car in TTL Season 11. We've seen 2 virtual safety cars so far. One in Australia and one here at Monaco. Steph, meanwhile, after that front wing change, has rejoined in 9th place, but a huge shockwave now. Poe has a chance to take the lead of the championship. Winning here at Monaco is exactly what he needs to take control of the championship going into Canada. And Steph here right on the tail of Alan Kay. And Steph here, is he going to try and move? Maybe not into the hairpin. No, thinks better of it. And as you can see, the field is, apart from these two, pretty spread out. So this is the battle we're watching then. The battle between Alan Kay and Steph. Let's ride on board with Steph then, because that will provide a better camera angle. Alan Kay tapping the wall slightly there. Steph, meanwhile, just trying to take his time with this one. He's on a set of Hypersoft tyres, which I doubt will get him to the end of the race. And obviously holding that record. Let's see how many stops he has made so far. Let's have a look at this one I need. Oh, he's only made 1 stop. Well then, there you go then. Only 1 stop so far. Driver's yet to make a stop. Z3 and the driver in front of Steph, Alan Kay. Both yet to make a stop so far. As you can see, there are the position changes. C3 up 10 places so far. And Lambo is now up into P6 after he's got past Lighty. Steph, meanwhile, trying to go side by side with Alan Kay. Has to back out of it. Right thing to do as we head into Matinee. And then into Casino Square. Steph's just got to try and take his time here. Pick his moment. Because it's so easy to get it all wrong. So, Squeezy Lemon into the pits. Now, will this be a front wing change, I wonder? No, just a change of tyres to Squeezy. And away he goes again. Yep, that's the lag there, taking control. So where will Squeezy rejoin then? He rejoins in 4th place. So maybe he knew he had that gap and decided that he was going to take that risk then. So he's on to a set of super soft tyres now, currently in P4. And we'll be hoping now that he can get these tyres to the end of the race. He should be able to. Currently on lap 15 of this Grand Prix. Let's get this back to interval so we can see who the battles we need to be watching are. Lighty is into the pits to make his one and only stop. Steph, meanwhile, still trying to find a way past Alan Kay. And if these two aren't careful, this could end in tears. But Steph, meanwhile, still trying to push and still trying to find that way through. He's on the Hypersoft tyres. He knows he has to try and make a move. Is he going to try and make a move now? No, he doesn't. Still stays out of it. As we head now towards the hairpin. Meanwhile, Squeezy Lemon has found a way past Blizzard. And Blizzard here, I think, is carrying a little bit of front wing damage. He's not performing how he should be. Ollie, meanwhile, gets a 3-second stop go, or a 3-second time penalty for cutting the hairpin there. But he is past Damien, but he did that before the hairpin. Blizzard is falling away now from Squeezy. And maybe that's why Squeezy pitted. He knew who was behind him. Steph, meanwhile, is past Alan Kay. And Steph now up into P7. He is on the Hypersoft tyres, the only person on a set of tyres that's not super soft. We'll have to see how that works for him as we head into the latter stage of the race. Obviously, one of those who reacted to the virtual safety car by pitting in without a front wing. And he is in 7th place right now. Sort of helped him back to the pits there. And sort of brought the field closer together. Meanwhile, that is Light E at the back there. Getting past Damon up into P11. And the German in the Ferrari making some good progress here. Mays, meanwhile, is the next person to try and get past Alan Kay. Mays in 9th, Alan Kay in 8th. And we have to wait and see now, between these two, which way this battle's going to go. Mays right on Alan Kay's tail. And Alan Kay hits the wall. That could be a bit of front wing damage. Here comes Mays. And, that was a bit aggressive from Mays. But Alan Kay gave him the room. All's fair in love and war. Mays is up into P8. So, lap 17 of the Monaco Grand Prix. Poe is your race leader right now. Technique is in 2nd. Squeezy is in 3rd place. Blizzard in 4th. Z3 yet to stop is in 5th place. Lambo is in 6th. Steph is in 7th place. Mays is in 8th. Alan Kay in 9th. Ollie is in 10th place. Light E is in 11th. Damien is the last of the runners right now. He's in P12. Retirements, Plaster, Spike, George Roberts and Clifford. We have blue flags out there for, that's the Renault of, I believe that's going to be Ollie. As Ollie and Alan Kay move to the side. Ollie's trying to be opportunistic. Did it work? Yes, it did. Ollie's through then. Worked perfectly. Now Light E is the next person to try and get past Alan Kay. And there is the Red Bull of Technique. So blue flags will be out again. And I wonder if Light E uses those blue flags there to try and coax Alan Kay into a move. Lambo getting past Z3 there. Team orders. Here comes Light E trying to go down the inside. Doesn't work. And now blue flags are waving. But these two are still battling. And Alan Kay backs out of it there. He just lets the Red Bull through. There goes Light E letting Technique through. And Light E moves up into the points then. Smart play from Light E. Very smart driving. And he now is into the points thanks to that move. So Z3 yet to stop in this race. Still on those super soft tyres. It gives us an idea of how long the super softs will actually last for. So currently they've lasted 17 laps. Oh, Z3's tapped the wall! So easy to do in a race like this. Rear tyre onto the wall there. Spun right around, and that will do the rear tyres no good whatsoever. And the fact that I call that on stream for Z3 is just makes it even better, doesn't it? Well, Spike says that Steph and him got cosy going into the swimming pool. I'll try not to take that out of context too much, Spike, but I think I get what you mean there. So, lap 19 of this Grand Prix. Poe is in the lead. 4.1 seconds separates him and Technique. There is Squeezy Lemon in 3rd place. And I believe that's Ollie making a mistake, and he's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty because of that. Now, Lighty may not necessarily know that, so he'll still keep pushing like he wants to get through, and to be fair, he needs to. Mays, meanwhile, took an interesting line there. As Steph then lets the leaders through. This could be an opportunity for Mays to try and pick up some pieces here as we head into Massenet. And this is what the blue flags does. It really opens up the race, especially when you come into Monaco. And that's Steph making a mistake there. Mays has got through. And Steph, has he hit the wall there? And he's picked himself up a 3-second time penalty for cutting that hairpin. The game really doesn't like you doing that. You don't really gain a lot of time through there, but it hates you for it and punishes you for it too. Lighty, meanwhile, riding on board as we see him trying to go down the inside of Ollie, then into the chicane. Can he make the move work? And he has done. Great move from Lighty. Aggressive, but works for him. So Lighty then is up into 8th place. And Ollie is in 9th now. Here comes Poe then to start lap 21 of the Monaco Grand Prix. And that means we have, correct me if I'm wrong, 19 laps to go. Z3 still out there on his original set of super soft tyres. Steph is into the pits, serves that 5-second stop go that he got with Spike. Who, Spike says, Steph hit the wall, Spike hit his rear tyre and front left just fell off. So for Steph then, on go a set of ultra soft tyres as well as a front wing change. And he'll rejoin as the last of the runners in P12. Lighty is trying to carve his way through the field at Monaco. Difficult to do, but he's proving it is possible. Lighty then right on the tail of Mays now. And as we head through the chicane towards this fast left-hander, always difficult to get right, especially on worn tyres. But they've both done a good job through that high-speed section into the swimming pool section now. And as we head into Rascasse, lots of people have tried to dive it up the inside there. Most of them have failed, but into Anthony Noge now. Down the pointless DRS straight. In towards turn 1. Nothing doing for Lighty at the moment, but up the hill they go. Towards the left-hander of Massenet now. Mace holding on. Making it difficult for Lighty now through Casino Square. And as we try to head down towards the right-hander. And now, here we go, towards the hairpin. Still, Lighty cannot find a way through. And Lighty getting very close for comfort towards Mays as we head towards the tunnel. Fair driving so far. And as you can see, Lighty is running much less downforce and tried to make a move there, but well, backed out of it. He wanted to make the move, but he might have seen Mays just slightly move across and he backed out of the move. Whatever it was, Lighty just wasn't happy going down the inside that corner. So he's got to stay behind Mays, do all that work and do it all over again. Towards Sandervot then. Lighty still on Mays' tail. And on his gearbox as well. Ollie in the distance though, 2.1 at the moment. He's at the moment he's fading away, but he might be able to reel them back in, especially if these two start battling hard as well. Mays then trying to defend the inside line. Down the hill they go. Still holding on as they head towards the hairpin now. And Lighty playing it very close for comfort there. And as you can see, Ollie is reeling them in now. 1.8 behind this battle here. And then through the tunnel they go once again. Lighty just seems to run a little bit less downforce. Gives him a little less drag. And he's able to try and pull off a move like this. Down the inside he goes. Mays gives him the room. Oh, Lighty's tapped the wall with his rear tyre. And did Ollie collect him there? I'm not entirely sure, but Lighty tapped the wall with his rear tyre, which is so easy to do. On your own it's easy to do, but when you're battling with someone else it makes it even more challenging. But Lighty has to do that hard work all over again. As Ollie taps the wall there. Does Ollie have front wing damage, I wonder? Let's have a look as he comes up towards Massenet. That would be the best place to show whether he's got front wing damage or not. Who Massenet and the Casino Square. Hard to tell if he's got front wing damage, actually. Very smooth, very controlled. Alan Kay comes into the pits then. 21 laps he's done on those super soft tyres. And on will go a set of ultra softs. So completely avoiding those hyper soft tyres. But he has to change a front wing as well. Now I wonder how long he's been running with a broken front wing. Whether that was recent or it's been like that for some time. I'm not too sure, actually. So Z3 climbing the hill, still in P6. And he's done 23 laps on these super soft tyres so far, so a good indication so far of how long they're lasting. And he's had a pretty quiet race, Z3. Brushed the wall there a couple of laps ago, but other than that, he's been a little bit under the radar this race. But that's not necessarily a bad thing, especially at the Monaco Grand Prix. That's the kind of Grand Prix you want to have. No coverage, no nothing. Just get to the end of the race. But like I said, 23 laps on those tyres. He hasn't stopped yet, and he will be the last person to make a pit stop. Alan Kay made his stop, and Z3 will be the last one. Poe, meanwhile, leading the way. Technique is only 2.8 seconds behind. So let's keep an eye on that gap then, see if it closes up any more. Meanwhile then, Ollie defending from Light E. Of course, Light E making that mistake, having to do all this again. Makes another little mistake. But through the tunnel they go. So you've got Mays up ahead. Z3 has come into the pits then, so 23 laps he's done on those tyres. And that's a good indication of how long these tyres are going to last then. Light E having to let that McLaren through of Squeezy. And Ollie will have to do the same for his teammate. Now, depending on where he makes that stick, I'm not too sure. Probably down the straight. But Light E is going to have a little bit of DRS. And that could have been a bad place to try and let his teammate through. Light E might have had a look into Saint Devot, but Ollie holds on though. But up the hill they go towards Massenet and then Casino. Light E still trying to have that look, but he can't quite make a move stick. The gap is closing between Poe and Technique. Oh, Light E runs into the back of Ollie. Bit of front wing damage. And this is where that aggressive driving could come back to haunt him. With a bit of front wing damage, it's going to be even tougher. Now, he had not a lot of downforce before. That's how he's getting all the straight line speed. But with even less downforce, it's going to find it even tougher. Ollie closing in on Mays. And maybe that bump gave him a little bit more confidence there. Very close to that left-hand side tyre wall there. Through high-speed chicane we go in the swimming pool section. And Ollie just tapping that wall. Into Raskas we go. And you can see how much Ollie has closed in on Mays here. Through Anthony Nose. And Lighty is starting to drop away here. And maybe that front wing damage has taken its toll. C3, by the way, went onto a set of ultra soft tyres and he rejoined exactly where he pitted in P6. So it wasn't a bad strategy call in the end. The next car ahead of him though, 57.9 up the road. So Z3's going to have to push a little bit if he wants to catch the next car, but as you can see, that gap is starting to come down. Ollie gets himself a 3-second time penalty for the hairpin once again. Yellow flags in Sector 3. Wherever they are, they're gone now, so we can leave that behind us then. Lambo is closing in on Blizzard. Meanwhile, Technique is in the pits without a front wing. And where's his pit crew? No, that can't be happening in real time. Surely not. No, it's not. Okay. I was going to say, there we go. Light E's out of the race. Light E is out. Now, where did he crash out then? Technique had to come in for a front wing change. Let's see if we ride on board with Steph then. We can sort of see where Light E has gone. If his car's still there, that is. Look out for the yellow flags as we enter this high-speed section. There he is. Yeah, he's gone into the wall in the swimming pool section. So that is Light E's day done. It's a very silly way to ride on board with a retired car. Just see what happened to them, but it's the only way we can do it. So Technique then rejoined in third place on the Ultrasoft tyres. 7 seconds behind Squeezy. So Poe's challenge then of keeping the race lead has got a little bit easier. 23.9 separates himself and Squeezy. Meanwhile, we're riding on board with Lambo, trying to chase down Blizzard. So Lambo here and Blizzard have both had tough races. But it's not over yet. 11 laps to go. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Lambo. Tried to make a move that was never going to happen. And has he got front wing damage because of it? He might do, because he's brushed the wall. And you can see he is quicker, Lambo, at the moment. But with that front... Oh, that contact... Has it meant he's got less downforce? Blizzard there, trying to defend. And into the DRS zone he goes. Into the DRS zone they both go then. Here comes Lambo then. He's trying to try and go around the outside into turn 1. Oh, Blizzard didn't give him a lot of room there. And Lambo put into the wall, or pushed into the wall rather. And, well, that's Ollie falling down the order. Ollie's retired from the session. But he's decided to retire after a tough day. So did he hit the wall or another car? I suppose at this point we won't know. But Ollie is calling it a day. And Damien then will be put up into the points. Lizard then, 4th place there. So 10 runners with 10 laps to go. As you can see, Lambo's caught up quickly to the back of Blizzard once again. So even with that front wing damage, you can see on the left-hand side of Lambo's front wing, he's still catching Blizzard as Technique sets the fast lap of the race, 1:11.0. We're already 3 seconds faster than the lap record set by Max Verstappen in the actual race. Lambo into the pits then. So this is a change of front wings. It's going to drop him. It shouldn't actually drop him. Technique's out of the race. Technique is out. Right on board with Blizzard then. See whereabouts it was. There's the green flags. There's some yellow flags. There he is. He's into the wall. So he's clipped the inside of Casino there, it looks like. And he's out of the race. So Technique was running 3rd. And that's put Blizzard up into a podium position. We're now down to 9 runners. And the coolest man out on track right now is probably Poe. 24 seconds ahead of Squeezy with 9 laps to go. Lambo, meanwhile, is on a set of Hypersoft tyres, ready to try and chase down as much as he can. But it's always difficult to do. Back markers as well will play their part. I believe that is that Steph or is that Damien? That is Steph there, who's doing his best there to try and get out of the way. But Lambo still on the charge then. Mays, meanwhile, P7 at the moment on those super soft tyres. Steph is on the ultra softs. And as you can see, the field is pretty spread out at the moment. So we're on the lookout then for who's called the best strategy. Well, it looked like then Hypersofts onto Supersoft seems to work a treat. Z3 though tried the alternate strategy, and let's have a look at just want to check something actually. Yeah, he's up 10 places from his starting position. He said in qualifying that he hates this track, absolutely hates it. Right now he's in P5, and what a result that would be for him to come home in P5 at a track he hates. Let's have a look at Blizzard then. Blizzard could have a bit of damage on his car. He has been struggling since the first couple of laps with his car. So whether he's clipped the barrier on his second stint, because he has been struggling all along on these super soft tyres. Whether he can't get them into temperature or whether he's got a bit of damage that we can't see is it's all a bit of a mystery at the moment. There is Damon, who comes out of the pits, maybe to try and set a new fastest lap. Spike says Kieran to finish top 5. Sure, why not? I'll put a bet on it. Lambo's setting the fast lap of the race. 110.9 from Lambo shows he's absolutely on the limit, and he's 16.2 behind Blizzard. This could be a good fight for that last podium place. 15.8. Watch that fall with 7 laps to go of this race. They say Monaco has been a procession, but we've seen quite a few overtakes today and a few incidents to talk about as well. I think there'll be a little bit of arguing through the night, but as you can see, Lambo is cutting that gap down tremendously to Blizzard. 13.3 now, the gap. Now it's 12.8. Literally took a second out of that mini split. Eager to see what Lambo's lap time will be. Well, Poe crosses the line there with 7 laps to go. He's actually very close to Lambo. It's not that far away, to be honest with you. So let's see where Z3 is. So yeah, that is Poe has lapped everyone so far up to Z3. So top 4 have not been lapped yet. 8.9 from Lambo to Blizzard here. So Lambo is on the limit, absolutely pushing as hard as he can. But there will be a point where those tyres will just start to give in. But at the moment he is pushing like his life depends on it. 6.1 the gap, and Blizzard is he had to get past a back marker there of Damien. And yeah, he's got more front wing damage. That's probably why the gap's been closing so much. Blizzard here has a huge amount of front wing damage on the right hand side. And yeah, that's probably why the gap's been closing up so much then. As Damien here wants to unlap himself. But of course, when you unlap yourself, the blue flags come straight back out. And you have to let them through again. But Damien here is just keeping his distance for now, and Blizzard runs a little bit wide. Damien unlaps himself. And for Lambo here, this could be a chance to grab that final podium position. Blizzard is very vulnerable right now. And, well, 1.7 the gap is now. And Blizzard, there is Lambo right at the back there. Blizzard has been struggling throughout this super soft stint. And he's made it even worse with losing a part of his front wing. And here comes Lambo. He knows he just has to time this move. Doesn't have to dive down the inside. He doesn't have to make this move rash. He knows all he has to do is keep it on the track. Here he goes then. Down into the chicane. And, well, Blizzard there just cuts the track completely. Whether he locked up or just went straight on, stay ahead. Well, either way, Lambo's not going to be too happy. 1.2 the gap now. He did get a 3-second time penalty for it, but Lambo won't be too pleased with that. Blizzard knows he's got an injured car, and he's just trying to get it to the end of the race, but he has to hold on for so long. These two are on lap 35 now. Here comes Lambo then trying to go around the outside, and knows Blizzard's going to slam the door shut. Tries to get the traction zone absolutely spot on. Can't quite do it though. And they go up the hill still. Lambo is behind as they head through Massenet. And you can see here, Lambo is just trying to time his move here. Oh, he's lost it. Into the wall he goes. It's that front wing damage for Lambo there. I think he's just got away with it, you know. He hit that wall pretty hard. But I think he's got away with it. Still then, they're battling away. 4 laps to go for Poe in the lead of the race. We're riding on board though with this battle between Blizzard and the man on board Lambo. Blizzard's doing all he can to still try and defend. Blizzard locks up once again, and I think Lambo this time will have the move done, and he does. Lambo up into P3 and Blizzard down to P4. So Blizzard here looks like he's still just trying to get to the end of the race on those tyres and with that front wing. Let's have a look at others down the field. Well, we've got Poe here, who will be starting the final few laps of this race. And he will start lap 37 of this race in the lead. We have 3 laps to go of the Monaco Grand Prix. Squeezy finds himself in 2nd place. Lambo is in 3rd. Blizzard pits in. And away he goes. Onto a set of Hypersoft tyres. Z3 is right there though. Blizzard here could be under threat of losing this position to Z3, and he has. Blizzard's lost that position. He'll rejoin on a set of Hypersofts, and it's got some chasing to do then to grab a couple of points. So Z3 up to 4th right now, and Blizzard deciding to change that front wing in the end. And I don't think he realised that he was going to lose that position to Z3 in the end, but he has at the moment, and he's not got long to make that move stick. Remember, he's now lost a lap because he now got lapped in the pits by Poe. So if you look at the positions on track, you can see Lambo is actually getting closed in by Poe pretty quickly right now. There is Poe, and there's Lambo. So pretty close then from Poe. He might actually lap nearly the entire field. So it's been dominant so far from Poe. 2 laps to go. And that's a yellow flag in Sector 3. I wonder who that could be. Not quite sure. But at the moment then, we've got blue flags there. So a leader is coming. I think that's going to be Squeezy bearing down on these two. And Z3 at the moment holding his own against Blizzard. Up the hill they go. Into this sweeping left and right hander as we head through Casino Square. And Blizzard still trying to find a way through. Can't quite do it though. And into the hairpin we go. Z3 still ahead. Poe meanwhile flying through into the swimming pool section. Have to keep an eye on where he is. Meanwhile, Z3 is going to try and hold on to 4th place. Blizzard, meanwhile, is he going to try and move? No, he doesn't. Thought about that move, but couldn't quite make it stick. Couldn't get the car width beside him, half a car beside him. But Poe starts the final lap of this race in the lead. Will he finish it in the lead? Z3 just about holding on for now. He's got to hold on for one more lap though. If he can get around these final few corners, one more lap for him. And Blizzard though has got a much better exit out of Anthony Nose and into the first corner, into Sandavot. He'll have the inside and he leaves Z3 that room. That's pretty interesting. And as Z3, oh, he's collected Blizzard, and Blizzard is out of the race. Oh, Blizzard is out going up the hill, and Damien's out too. Oh, where did Damien go? Unbelievable. Z3 then, well, that's maybe one for the stewards. But yellow flags in Sector 1. Z3's just got to limp home now. In terms of limping home though, none of that from Poe. As he rounds Anthony Nose for the final time. The winner of the Monaco Grand Prix is Poe. Fantastic drive from him, and he takes the lead of the championship. Squeezy flying through now, and the fireworks go off, and Squeezy looks like he's going to take 2nd place in this race, barring any late drama. He rounds the final corner, and he heads towards the line. He will take P2 for himself and for Renault. That's a great result for Squeezy there. Lambo will be the last car to finish on the lead lap. Mays, meanwhile, is there is Mays and there is Lambo. Incredible. 5 finishes in this race. 5 out of the 16 that started. So the ruling is that Steph, of course, finished the race in 7th. Blizzard didn't finish, which means Blizzard doesn't score those points. But Lambo there is going to come home, and he's going to take 3rd place, the final podium. He's going to do a couple of burnouts across the line. But your winner for the Monaco Grand Prix for the Renault team, it's Poe. Well, it was a great race today, and well, 5 finishes, but I believe it was it 5 finishes? I can't remember now. Was it 6? Might have been 6. Poe won't care though, because he's taken top step of the podium and the lead of the championship as we head to Canada. A great drive for Poe and great points for Renault. So then, your official, unofficial results. Poe takes the race win at Monaco. Squeezy in 2nd, Lambo in 3rd, Z3 4th, Maze in 5th, Blizzard 6th, Steph in 7th, Alan K 8th, Damien 9th, although he won't score those points. Neither will Technique in 10th there. Ollie, also another retirement, as is Lighty, Plaster, Spike, George Roberts and Clifford. Also, Blizzard, of course, retiring on the last lap of the race. He's not going to score those 8 points in the championship. Well, I'll tell you what, I've always said Monaco's always a procession and whatnot, but that was a pretty dramatic race, if I say so myself. We're going to head back to the lobby now and see if anybody actually wants to talk to us. We shall wait and see. Obviously, this is the part where the drivers vote for their driver of the day, and if I had my phone handy, I could probably try and see who's the early contender for it. But we'll give it a couple of minutes before we see if anybody wants to join our nice little party. That can't be 10 people who want to chat. Surely not. I don't have enough room for 10 people in the party. Well, we can always have a vote of our own if we really want to. But we'll give it a couple more minutes before we send out the invites. This couple of minutes is time for the drivers to cool down, because inviting them to a party straight away, I've been a victim of it before, where you just say the wrong thing. You absolutely say the wrong thing. You haven't had a chance to cool down, and you haven't had a chance to just gather your thoughts after a race. Great if you're a race winner to just go in straight away, but if you hadn't had a great race, then just give it a little bit of time, and you know, we'll see. Looks like though we've got quite a healthy round of people who want to have a chat. So let's get sending in those invites then. So let's have a look. This is always the awkward part where I'm just concentrating on inviting people to the party, so you'll have to bear with me. Okay, that's a round of invites sent out. And the first person to join us in the party is Steph. Steph, how are you?
Hello, Kieran. You alright?
So, not the conventional 9-stop, but you seem to have a decent race.
Oh, here we go, here we go, here we go. I've done a 2-stop today, Kieran.
Yeah, there you go.
damage
So-
away twice. But
So talk us through your race then.
well, well, objective was to survive Monaco. It did come with a bit of bumps and scrapes and accident of taking out a driver, but we had a chat during the race afterwards saying, look, I'm really sorry. It wasn't intentional because Spike and C3 were battling, well, coming up to battle with me. Coming through the swimming pool section, obviously clipped the wall out the exit to back, which kind of disrupted my line. And then car just understeered in the swimming pool section, hit the wall. I'm thinking, oh crap, I'm hitting the next wall, that's me done. And it rebounded me off, luckily with a red ring, and tagged C3, but C3 controlled, and obviously Spike didn't realise, and obviously went back on me, and we managed to iron out differences, so no further investigation on that. And then just literally just try getting the points as much as possible, and just praying for the cars in front just to drop out, which I've been doing, so I'll take P6 out of that, because Blizzard retired, so.
Yeah, and it's always a tough race going into Monaco. How did you prepare yourself, especially for a night race at Monaco?
Well, didn't really prepare much, I just thought, right, just get to A to B, and that's it.
Get from A to B without making 9 stops.
Completely wound out the way of 9 stops on that one, mate.
You surprised me with your 2 stop. I was really surprised.
Well, you're hoping for another 10, weren't you?
Hey, I was just hoping for another record-breaking race. That's all.
Yeah, you're not going to get that one from me now, Kieran.
So, moving on to, I believe it's Canada next. Your thoughts on the track?
Me in Canada equals good, so I'm looking forward to that one.
And where's a good position for yourself in Canada?
Anyway, in the top 10. So, literally just aiming for top 10 spots, get good qualifying, and just get good race strategy, and I'll be away. But then again, depends on the weather, of course, being Canada.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, one to note, obviously, this virtual safety car might have helped you out a little bit in your front wing repairs, but no safety car yet this season. Maybe at Canada?
We'll see what happens. But it's nice to see the virtual, and obviously took that with ease. But yeah, I was hoping for a safety car at one point, and then at another point I was hoping not. So bit and bits of both on that one, but hopefully fingers crossed, you may see a safety car in Canada. See what happens in the accidents wise.
Yeah, great stuff. Well, thank you for speaking to us, Steph, and we shall see you hopefully in Canada.
You'll see me there, Kieran, so don't you worry, and I'll see you soon.
Take care of yourself, Steph.
Take care, mate.
So, next is Z3. Z3,
Hello.
how are you?
Well, not too bad.
Not too bad. Well, you made those super softs last quite a long time, so I must ask what the percentage of those tyres were at the end of that stint.
Not bad at all, actually. I think it was at around 50%. Didn't wear at all, I gotta say, but I had to pit at some point.
Yeah, it had to be an odd feeling though, entering the pits in 6th place and rejoining in 6th place.
Oh, for sure. I was... Well, I think I damaged my front wing on lap 2 and drove around with a orange front right until I stopped on lap... I can't remember what it was, 20 something. So, like, I was struggling basically the whole first stint, especially those first few laps where I was behind Alan and Plaster. Felt like I had much more pace than them at that point, but like Monaco passing, yeah.
Absolutely. There was a little bit of drama on the last lap there. Talk us through your view then, Z3.
You're talking about with Matthew, right?
I am indeed,
Listen.
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, like, before he came up to me, I was like focusing on just not hitting the walls, and like then he suddenly was right behind me, and I just wanted him to back off because I had time penalties. and he wanted a battle, and well, when the opportunity was there, I just couldn't resist myself. I had to battle, and going side by side there, I tried to leave him as much room as possible, but ending up tapping the wall on the left side. Ending up giving him no room, bouncing back the other way.
Well, early indication in the chat says the drivers are trying to vote you for you as driver of the day.
That's nice to hear. Always, when you feel like you've done a much better job than you expected. So, yeah, it was a pretty good race. Didn't expect anything else but crashing out after the first lap and maybe going for a 9-stop.
It's alright, only Steph goes for 9 stops. You'll be alright, Z3.
Yeah,
no,
maybe.
so maybe going on to the next race, Canada. How are you feeling for that?
Oh, looking much more forward towards that race.
Good
Much
stuff.
more.
And what's
Like
an
that track.
ideal position for you then?
Well, even though I like it, I'm not actually sure how quick I am around it. I have struggled a bit on this game, but like, let's say top 10, I guess.
Top 10. Well, thank you very much, Z3, for talking to us, and we shall see you at Canada.
Of course you will.
Take care of yourself. So, next is Blizzard. Blizzard, long time no see. Talk us through that one.
Yeah, it was a right race. I mean, nice pad. I let Poe through at the start because I just didn't want to hold him up. You know, he's faster than me and he's in the championship as well. It's fun actually, but I was in the fight with Lambo and I couldn't stop laughing. I couldn't drive. I literally couldn't drive because of the noises he was making. Whenever we was like side by side, I literally couldn't drive.
That's. I don't think I've ever heard that in an interview before. I couldn't stop laughing, so that's why that happened. Okay, fair enough. Well, it looked like the virtual safety car then afterwards. It looked like Lambo got the jump on you, but obviously you both made contact in the tunnel. Just talk us through that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I left him enough room, but apparently, according to him, there's a bump on the inside which he doesn't like taking. So.
Fair enough.
I don't like taking that bump.
Well, again, not something I hear from drivers every day. Let's make it 3 for 3 then. Your view on the last lap with Z3 then.
I just wanted a battle really. I was looking for a battle the entire race because I wanted to see if it was possible, and it clearly isn't possible.
Yeah, trying it around Monaco is not going to work, is it? I said that from the very start. But Blizzard, is it good to be back then, racing in TTL?
Yep. It's nice.
Good. So will we be? Will we see you at another race this season?
Yeah, I mean, I don't actually. I was planning on doing every Thursday races just because I couldn't do Tuesdays anymore. I couldn't, and I had an ILR social race anyway. On,
Oh, okay.
Last week, so I couldn't turn up to that one. But I should be able to do
Next
France,
Thursday. Yeah, France. So, well,
Britain. I like both of those tracks, and I might skip TMC for Germany because I love Germany.
Fair enough. Well, hopefully then we'll be able to see you this time next week then in France.
Mhm.
So, any updates for a team you might pick for that one then, or just one that's free?
Well, I like going in it. Depends on who's in it really. I prefer having teammates, so I didn't want to pick the Williams, which had no one in it.
Fair enough. Well,
Mm.
hopefully then we'll see you at France. New track for everybody. So, yeah, hope to see you then, Blizzard.
Yeah, just one thing before I leave. I don't like France very well because of there's a one slight corner cut and time shot. Other than that, I like it.
Yeah, I don't like France either because it was the first track I raced on. The frame rate tanked, but
We've all got our reasons to hate it. Anyway, thanks for talking to us, Blizzard, and hopefully we'll see you at France.
Yep.
Take care of yourself, Blizzard.
Thank you. You too.
And last in the comms box is Spike. Spike, how are you?
Hello, mate.
Oh, a bit of a delay there. How are you?
That's because I was trying to get my mic to turn on.
Fair enough.
Mate, yeah, fine. I'm good.
Yeah, so qualified, what was it, 5th in that race, was it?
Yeah. I'm not going to be... No, I didn't have any practice. I literally just about got home from work in time, so I was jumping into it with literally no practice. So I just literally robbed the setup off somebody online, and then that was it. I just jumped in and I'll see where I get to, and then I was nowhere near the pace of everyone else at the front over there. I damaged my wing quite early on, and then I think I was battling for a couple of cars, and Lighty and myself went into whatever the chicane's called down by out of the tunnel. I never remember the name of it. And he went for the move and completed the move off the track. So I was a bit annoyed about that because he didn't get the position back. But obviously in the end it doesn't matter because I crashed out. Well, should I say Steph crashed out? And he didn't actually crash out. He hit the wall and then his car bounced across in front of me, and my front left hit his rear left and broke off. So that was the end of my race.
Yeah, a very frustrating way to go out then. Were you enjoying your race at that point?
No, not really. It's Monaco, isn't it?
I'm with you on that one, yeah. I'll go with you on that one. So, not much to talk about your race this time around, but Canada. Are you looking forward to that one?
A proper racetrack, so yes.
Good, that's what we like to hear. Ideal position for you at Canada?
I have no idea. I mean, I haven't really practiced much of the later tracks in this game yet, so it's going to be interesting to find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully, so okay.
And with Poti, oh no. Okay. Well, if the stream is dying like I think it is, I am going to sign off. Hopefully, let me see if I can just invite Spike back, because I think it's just the party that died. So if we just quickly create a party, invite Spike back to it, and hopefully we can just have a talk to him about Canada. Let's have a look. There he is. Let's just invite him back. So yeah, talking to us about Canada. Obviously, Canada's one of my favourite racetracks, and also where I made my mark in TTL in all those seasons ago. So I'm really looking forward to going back there. It's going to be a great racetrack, and I'm hopefully gonna really enjoy it. Hopefully Spike will come back. If not, then yeah, we won't know who his rivals are until next time around. I hope he comes back. Oh, did you hear that? Oh, that's the overlap of music in this game. You listen out for it next time. It is shocking. Absolutely shocking. There's no it's like they've tried to fade out the two songs, like the end of it and the beginning of the next one. It just sounds horrible. It clashes. Oh, horrible to hear every time. Anyway, that's something for you to listen out next time. Unfortunately, I don't think Spike's coming back, which is a real shame. Huh. Well, whilst the stream's still up, I better end on a high note then. Canada will be on Tuesday, but of course don't forget the Knockout Cup on Saturday. We will be live at 25 past 8, 8:25 BST, if you want to join us for that. We'd love to have you there, and of course, hopefully, I'm hoping for a packed chat room. There's 6 different leagues coming, and I'm not nervous. Of course I'm not nervous. What are you talking about? Don't forget tomorrow as well here on TTTV F1 we also have coverage of TTFL. That's going to be with Steph, always a great commentator for Fridays. For me though, you're not going to hear from me until we get back to Tuesday in TTL F1, which will be taking us round 7 to Canada and Montreal.
And don't forget, TTL F2 is also on Sundays at 8 p.m. Here on TTTV F1 at 8 p.m. Other than that, though, it's been a pleasure having you all here. Thank you very much for watching. And I've been Kieran McGinley. You've been watching. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you next time.